Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and that means, of course, some Howard Bloom content on the Old Amazing Atheist channel. But Howard Bloom is now launching a channel of his own because this channel is just not big enough to contain him. And you can subscribe to that channel by clicking here, woo, right here. Click it, click it, click it. You know you want to subscribe to Howard Bloom. Even if you're someone that hates Howard Bloom, you know you want to keep tabs on that crafty motherfucker. Anyway, here's Howard's video about how he doesn't believe in entropy, which, I don't know, that's probably going to be a pretty controversial one, but, you know, Howard is nothing if not interesting, and he's going to inspire some conversation in those comment sections below. I know he will. Without further ado, here it is.
You want to know why? Ask how. Howard the Humongous! What's been pissing me off today? That's always a good subject to get into. Well, look, first of all, Tom Peters, who wrote In Search of Excellence, an extraordinarily good book about what makes companies nimble and quick, said that the stuff that pisses us off is the most fertile stuff we've got. When you've got a guy who walks into work every day with a gripe, that gripe means he has a better way of doing something and is pissed off that he's not allowed to do it. What does that mean? He's got a better way of doing something, for God's sakes. And if you've got 36,000 employees and 36,000 different hidden nooks and crannies of your company, and each one is pissed off about something, that means that each one's got a better idea of how to do the stuff in his nook or cranny of the company. Try all of their ideas out. Let's imagine that half of them are trash. And you've got 18,000 ideas to improve whatever it is you're doing. Now, we humans are such radically discontented creatures that even if your suggestion has been implemented and it's now become the regular way to do things, your pride is going to wear off very quickly because within 2 weeks you're going to get pissed off again. Why? You've got another improvement in mind. So looking for the things that piss you off is a very good way to find areas of productive stuff. And what's been pissing me off is that I'm working on a book proposal. I'm working on a book proposal for a book called The Case of the Consumerist Cosmos. And I am looking at something that I covered in my previous book, The God Problem, all over again, and it's pissing me off. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. All things tend toward entropy. All things tend toward disorder. If you know anything about science, you've been hearing about it most of your life. If you are a scientist, you believe in this profoundly. One of the great scientists of the 19th or the early 20th century, the person who put Einstein on the map, Sir Arthur Eddington, said that if you disbelieve in Maxwell's equations for light, well, you know, equations can sometimes be wrong. If you agree in the laws of electrical conductivity, well, you know, occasionally the laws we come up with can be wrong. But if you disagree with the second law of thermodynamics, there's simply no hope for you. You might as well give up and commit suicide. Well, I've got news for you. If you look at the big picture of the cosmos from the Big Bang to today, that 13.77 billion years of evolution, you don't find a universe falling apart. You don't find a universe tending toward disorder. You don't find a universe collapsing into a gray goo, a thermodynamic equilibrium. You find the opposite. You find a universe that doesn't fall down the stairs continually. You find a universe that through some means we do not yet know in science continually falls up the stairs. You find a universe that goes from a Big Bang, which is a great big inchoate blop, it's an explosion, to quarks, that goes from quarks to atoms, that goes from atoms to clouds of gas, that goes from clouds of gas to galaxies, that goes from galaxies, which are great big clots of clouds of gas, to stars, that goes from stars that swallow, you've got a universe when you have the first stars that only have 3 different basic substances, 3 different forms of atoms. They are hydrogen, helium, and lithium. The stars first crunch atoms in their hearts. Terribly destructive thing to do. Photons, that is light, are the screams of dying atoms in the hearts of stars. As if that kind of violence on nature's behalf weren't bad enough, eventually the stars die. Okay, it's second law of thermodynamics time, right? Things have finally done. After it's now it's several million years into the universe's existence, for several million years, the universe has defiantly just said screw you to the second law of thermodynamics. But finally, the second law of thermodynamics turns out to be right? These stars are falling apart, thank God! Guess what? When they fall apart and die, when they collapse in their groans of death, they crunch atoms together in ways that defy the laws, defy the boundaries that keep atoms intact. And the result is the dying stars create 89 new forms of atoms, 89 new kinds of basic substances: oxygen, iron, carbon, nitrogen, palladium, titanium, all kinds of weird and bizarre shit. Is the universe, even when it seems to be undergoing the second law of thermodynamics, all things tend toward disorder the most and the death of stars? Are things falling down? Are things becoming more disordered? Or are things falling up when you end up with 89 new forms of atoms? The second law of thermodynamics is wrong. But scientists who believe in it can't separate their science from their religion. And they don't recognize that the second law of thermodynamics is not science, it is a belief. And they hold on to it. Yes, some of its math does apply. It does work. But in the big picture, and its big picture claims that the second law of thermodynamics makes, in the big picture scheme of things, it's wrong. What are the first two rules of science? The truth at any price, including the price of your life. And look at things right under your nose as if you've never seen them before. The scientists who believe in the second law of thermodynamics do not look at things right under their nose, and by that definition are not scientists at all. How's that?